Utah's Green River was known to Spanish explorers as early as 1776 and had been a notable crossing on the arduous Old Spanish Trail linking New Mexico to Alta California. Understandably, the course of the Green River was poorly known by the early Spanish, and maps of the day incorrectly depicted the Green River draining some of the large lakes of northern Utah, including the Great Salt Lake. Trappers of the Hudson's Bay, Northwest, and Pacific Fur Companies pioneered much of the area and used it as wintering grounds in the 1800s. John C. Fremont and Kit Carson explored the region in the 1840s. It was Fremont's work that established the river's true drainage and corrected the error of the Spanish maps. In 1853, shortly before he and his men were massacred, Captain John W. Gunnison's party passed through the area near the present-day town of Green River as they completed the survey that would later bring steel rails to the Green River and beyond. It's likely that the first organized European passage down the Green River was led by John Wesley Powell in 1869. Powell, the adventuring son of a New York minister, was no stranger to long expeditions. In 1855, he had walked across Wisconsin. The following year, he traveled by rowboat the entire length of the Mississippi River from above Minneapolis to the Gulf of Mexico. In the years leading up to the Civil War, the self-made naturalist and geologist rode the Ohio, Illinois, and Des Moines rivers. After the war, Powell led expeditions into the Rocky Mountains and the drainages of the Green and Colorado rivers. At the time of Powell's expedition in 1869, the Green River area was almost entirely unknown, seen by most as an abyss too dangerous to travel through. Powell's group of 10 men left the civilized railroad boomtown of Green River, Wyoming, and proceeded through hundreds of miles of dangerous rapids in the canyons of northeast Utah to the Gunnison Valley lowlands, continuing on through Labyrinth and Stillwater canyons to the confluence of the Green, the Grand, and the Colorado rivers. In 1871, Powell made a second journey down the Green River, this time enlisting the services of photographer John K. Hillers, producing a definitive map, photos, and other survey documents. It was Powell's men who gave names to the many geologic features, canyons, and rapids. In the 1870s, the remote river-crossing town of Green River began to see a new type of visitor, white settlers. Along with the settlers came the establishment of an overland mail route, and soon afterward came the completion of the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railway on the route surveyed by Gunnison in 1853. The location was instantly recognized as the obvious transfer and supply point for the river. The railroad built a maintenance house and prominent hotel and greatly bolstered the local population. But in less than 10 years, the railroad moved its maintenance operation to Helper, some 60 miles away. This was perhaps the first in a series of booms and busts experienced by the town of Green River as fruit crops failed, mines went broke, oil drilling faltered, and the markets of America came and went. Though the traffic on the river never materialized at hoped-for levels, a number of small river boats traveled the Green to haul materials to and from the mines and farms that sprang up along the river. Attempts to commercialize a riverboat route between Green River and Moab soon crumbled, and equipment was scrapped or sold for other uses. A flatwater kayak trip on Utah's Green River usually means putting in at Green River State Park, just south of the town. Some, though, choose to shorten the trip by entering the river at Ruby Ranch, some 20 miles downstream. Starting at Ruby Ranch forsakes the barren beauty of the lowland banks of the Gunnison Valley and may deny a full appreciation of just how colossal the canyon walls ahead will be. The Green gives up its energy by meandering, making wide sweeping turns in the desert lowlands. These turns later become indirect tight curves that have carved gorges hundreds of feet into the sandstone. In some places, the tight turns have completely eroded through the surrounding canyon walls and have actually caused the river to change course. The only opportunity to exit the river is at Mineral Bottom, 68 waterway miles below the town of Green River. Continuing past this point, you enter Canyonlands National Park and eventually the Colorado River. The waters of the Colorado ahead are not navigable with hard-to-maneuver flatwater kayaks, which are designed only for ease of forward movement. And the current of the Colorado is too swift to paddle upriver. It is necessary to have a prearranged motorized tow upstream to Moab. Our springtime trip came with a special delight. The waters of the Green were higher than normal. That offered us an intimate water discovery of the many side canyons that are normally dry washes that can only be explored by foot.